Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio. I hope everyone is having a great day. It is time for my favorite day of the week, which is the I Saw It on Pinterest make. And I want to thank everyone because looking at my views, this is your favorite video of the week as well. I have way more views on these particular videos than I do any of the others, and I do appreciate that, and I appreciate your support on my channel as a whole. You all are a great, great community, and I really enjoy seeing your comments and your interactions with my videos. So, with that being said, today we are going to do a version of this tag, which is by, and I know that I'm going to absolutely slaughter this name, but I think it is SpoosyBooCo, which is capital SPOSSY, capital BO, capital CO. And she is on Etsy, and she had for sale these adorable little kind of collage tags with all the little hanging things from. And so I am, of course, going to put my spin on these and make some for me to use in journals. The thing in particular that I like about these is really the dangly parts. So, we're going to make one that is closer to this version, and then I'm going way off on a tangent to make a couple of others that I think will be real cute. So let's get started on the first one, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to move my iPad out of the way so I have room to work. And let's get started. As my magnetic cover here is picking up everything that's metal that it's coming near. Alright. So for the first one, I'm going to make one to go in my Where I Come From journal, which is kind of a country quilting, just kind of everything that has to do with where I come from. So I have made a tag base out of the two digitals that I'm using mainly in the journal. My mind just was drifting off to something else. It's drifting off to the fact that I didn't tell you guys who this digital was from in my description box like I said I was going to. So let me look that up real quick so we can take care of that. Sorry I didn't do that, guys, but I knew just as soon as I started to say that I had forgotten. Okay, it is by Mermaids Cove Co. Mermaids has a capital M, Cove has a capital C, and then it's capital CO. And she is on Etsy. Okay, and then the back side is Louisa. And it is called Stitch Journal Backgrounds, and this one is called Vintage Quilt Backgrounds. So Alright, now that that is out of the way, let's put this tag together. So, as I was saying before I was distracted there, I've made just a tag base from this, and it's 3 1/4 by 6 1/2, I believe, somewhere in that area. And I just printed, when I printed these out, I printed the quilt on one side of the cardstock, and then I flipped it and I printed Luisa's backgrounds, stitch backgrounds on the back. And I think that turned out really cute. And then I just, of course, cut it into the tag shape. And then I have this piece because when I do the stacking, I want to have a journaling spot on the front of the tag as well as on the back, because it's going to be covered up with the little dangly pieces. I thought it would be cute to have some journaling space on the front as well, so you could just kind of slide over the dangling pieces and have a journaling spot. This is $49 in Market, and it is from the Okra die cuts. And I think it's just really cute with the little spirals at the top. So I'm going to put this down with art glitter glue so I can get those little spiral pieces glued down well so they won't get broken. And we'll just put some little bit of glue on here and glue that down kind of centered. I said kind of centered. Yeah. Alright, it's going to be off a little bit. That's okay. Actually, it looks kind of good being kind of cockeyed a little bit. Okay, and then I have, this is the same ochre set from 49 in Market. And I'm going to glue it along the bottom. It's paper, but it looks like a ruffle. And so I thought it was cute. So I'm going to put it right down here. And I cut some of these pieces already because I'm going to try to get 3 made. So I thought it would go a little faster if I did some of the work ahead of time. Alright. Now, for my pieces that are going to be my little dangle pieces, the first thing I have is this mason jar. And this was a freebie, and so I'm not sure where it came from. There are several people on Etsy that have mason jars. This may have been like a Graphics Fairy freebie. I don't remember. I've had it for several years. And I've actually had this particular piece sitting in my ephemera for a while. And then I just stamped with my vintage stamps just the word jam on there and put this label on there. And that's going to be my first piece to dangle. And obviously this has been back with some file folder, and so obviously you could flip it over and journal on it as well. And grunge it up a little bit. Okay, so that's going to be my first dangly. And then I have this little, this is a true vintage piece. And it is kind of like from a You Pick It Berry place. I'm not sure how old it is, but I guess you went out and to the field, picked your berries, and then they gave you this little tag to take up front to pay. Because this says the bearer has picked 1 quart of berries, and it says J.E. Garrison. So that is going to be my second little dangle. And then I have this flower, which is also from the Okra 49 and Market Okra Kit. And that's going to be on there. And actually, I think I'm going to put this here, then this. And then I have this butterfly, which is Tim Holtz butterfly. And I'm going to put it on the top. Grunge it up. So it will be like that. And then I have this little round Tim Holtz piece that says special on it. And I'm going to put it right down here in the corner to bring some of the blue down here. It's the only reason for it, really. And then I think I'm going to take my little vintage price tags and do I want to do I'm trying to decide if I want to do dollars or cents, or do I want to do like, I wish I had one that's a quart, but I don't have a pound. Let's do like 35 cents. I don't know why 35. I have no idea. And that's 53. 35. And then I think I showed you this the other day. But if you're new or you haven't seen that video, if you'll take one of these little binder clips, you can clip all these together and stamp them at the same time, and they will be more even than trying to stamp individually. And I think I want to use, I don't think I want something as stark as black. And if that's the case, then don't grab the black out, grab the brown. Let's see what this looks like. I didn't get enough ink on there. 5 is a little a little high. That's better. And I'm going to do that right down here. Oh no. Won't be able to fix that, I bet. I'll never get those back in the same spot. We may be covering this up and fixing it here. Ah, look at me. Okay, that'll work. And for those of you that did not hear about these stamps, I found them on eBay. They're super cool, and they are by the Lookout Stamp Company that was once in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, all right. Now that we've avoided a crisis, let's start putting this thing together. I didn't grab any bulb pins, so let me do that real quick. I'm just going to put some over here because I'm not sure. There we go, that one will work. I'm going to get my tiny hole punch. Alright, so first we need to put a hole up here, and we want to put it pretty close to the edge because we want our bulb pin to have plenty of room to move around, and if you get it too close to the top, it won't move around correctly. Sorry, I'm knocking things off. That's not my hole punch. That was a corner rounder. Sorry for the reach. And I apologize for this being out later than normal. Normally I do my videos a day ahead, but I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. Nothing wrong. It was just checkup day. And and it was at a time of the day when, you know, by the time I got home, it was dinner time, practically, and I didn't get it done before I left. So, I am actually filming this on Thursday. Alright, so there's the top hole. Now, I'm going to use just my real little bitty punch and punch all of my things that are going to be the little danglies so I can get the ball pin through. Okay, now I'm just going to start stacking them. No, I want to do it this way. The one I want in the front, I'm going to do No, yep, I want this one next. Then I want my flowers. And then I want my jar. And then I want to put this through here. Too cute. And then I'm going to put my little special down here, and we'll call this one done. Isn't that just cute? Like it. Like it. Alright, so now we're going to go way off on a tangent. So, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do to make these little things. And purely by accident, I hit one of my sewing drawers. I have some sewing drawers from old sewing machine that I store stuff in. And I hit one and it knocked a thing of paper dolls out. The new 10 months paper dolls. All over my floor. Well, it knocked out these cars. And I don't know if you've seen this new set, but they have like people in them, but they also have cars and they also have some houses. Really cool little set. And I thought, oh, I wonder if you could do one of these. So we're going to do one. We're going to make a dangly with a car. So I have, this is a digital postcard that's just on regular copy paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations, and I've cut it down a little bit because this is going to be our writing surface. This is a piece of scrapbook paper that is Graphics 45. And I was going to put a writing surface on the back, but it has a gorgeous back. So I think I'm just going to leave it. And if I change my mind down the road, I'll put something on it. But because it's going to have some writing space on the front, I thought, well, I'll leave it for now. So I'm going to put this on here like this. And I'm inking with permanent ink, which is fine, except now I'm going to have to change my... Well, I probably didn't get enough on there. I put permanent ink on my oxide thing just then. Probably not good. Alright. And then I have just like this other little piece of scrap that I'm going to put on here as well. I'm going to scoot it up just a little because I have some lace I want to put down at the bottom. And then I have this finger, pointy finger, that I'm going to put right here. But let's glue the lace on first so I know where I want it. I've got a couple of pieces. I've got this piece, which is just a really flat, dainty, tea-dyed lace. I'm going to put it on there. And I'm not going to do any sewing on these. You could. I'm just not in the mood for it today. And then I have this piece of black lace. And I'm going to put it on top of that just to bring in another black element. And I'm hoping this will glue this enough. I may have to go back and do some Fabri-Tac. Alright, and this one's just like a torn piece. It doesn't have like a neat edge to it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like, you know, it was wider. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Let's do it this way. And when I say that ain't gonna work, that is on purpose. I really can speak sometimes. I guess that's kind of a it's not slang, but you know what I mean. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that bottom one a little bit too, I think, right here on this edge. Alright, well, let that dry a minute while I'm putting down these other pieces. So now I know that that can go right up against that. Find my glue book here, which I have buried under my little, I always keep a little pile of like scraps to tear pieces off of, you know, or if I need a piece of file folder or, you know, something to create some kind of texture when I'm making stuff. And apparently I have buried my glue book in that pile somewhere. So let me just see if I can find a piece of paper or something. Alright, so this one I want to go here. And then this one I want to go here. I feel like I should be taking a nap. I have to go pick my sister up at the airport tonight, and her flight does not get in until, if it's on time, 9:55 p.m. and I am a good 30 minutes from the airport. So it's going to be probably a late night once I get to the airport. Well, even by the time that they get off the plane, even if it's on time and get their luggage and all that, it's going to be pretty late night. I'm too old for that. No, actually, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind picking her up anyway, because she's my sister, and I would do anything for her, but I'm more of a late night person than I am early morning person, because when I took them and dropped them off, I had to get up at 4 a.m., and I was much more complaining about that than staying up late. I can promise you, that doesn't go there. This goes there. Okay, now let's do the little danglies. So for the danglies on this one, I'm going to move this one out of the way. I have the car, which is too cool. I think these cars are just too cool. I almost don't want to use them, but I figured that that's what I got them for, right? It's not going to do me any good to hoard them. And besides that, if I decide I want them, I can always order more. I think there's 3 cars in the pack, and there's like a larger car and then 2 smaller ones, and then I think there's 3 houses, if I'm not mistaken. This is one of the Tim Holtz black and white die cuts. This, of course, is Tim Holtz paper doll, and this is just a circle that I cut out of some scrapbook music paper. And the reason I did this is I'm going to put this on the back of here and then poke the hole, because I didn't want to poke a hole in one of their heads. So let's do that. I mean, it'd be perfectly fine, you know, if you wanted to poke a hole in their head. But, or if you used a paper doll that had hats or something, you know, where you could poke a hole in the hat, it wouldn't be near as bad as putting a hole in their head, I guess. But yeah, that's the only purpose for that, is just to do that. And then I thought I had a little label to put right there. Here we go. I think this one will fit. And it says 72 Fifth Avenue. And I think these are Tracy Fox. but I wouldn't swear to that either. Okay. I'm going to trim some of that off so it's not so close to the finger. There we go. I just wanted to put a little something there, but I don't really want to cover the writing spot. Okay, so let's poke holes for this one. So, did anybody see where I put the, there it is. Okay, so this one I'm going to go right here at the end of the car. And again, this one I'm going to go on the circle. Okay, and then this one, I think I'm going to do right on this leaf. Is that all I had for this one? No, I also had no, I think it is. Okay, so let's get a ball pen. I'm getting a black one this time. And we'll start at the front piece, which is Our Ladies. And then we have our flowers. And then we have our car. Oop. We have to put our hole in the tag, don't we? Let's put our hole in the tag. And hole reinforcer. And then we'll put our ball pin here, through the hole, and close it. Cute, guys. Isn't that cute? Love it. And you could add a piece of lace hanging down like she did. Like behind the car would not be bad. But I like it on the bottom. Alright, one more. And this one is the same idea, except it's masculine. So this paper is called Grungy Attic. And it is by, again, I'm going to have to look it up. Give me just a second. here. Oh, keeping up with all these files is a challenge. But you want to be sure and give everybody credit for their wonderful digital work. Alright, where are you? Sorry guys, looking. Sorry, I'm not seeing this one right off the bat. I don't want to keep you waiting forever, but if I'll try to look it up and list it. But I know it's called Grungy Attic. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I've had it a while, I guess. Okay, back to it. So, yeah, this was just one of the pages, and I cut it into a tag shape, and I backed it, and this is just cardstock on the back, but it's kind of a speckly cardstock. I found it at a thrift store, and I wish I could find it to buy it, but I haven't seen it anywhere. I've been kind of looking for it, but I don't know exactly what I'm looking for to call it. And I chose these gentlemen, and this is going to be this little scrap piece of Tim Holtz paper. It's got license plates on it, and it's going to be my backer for them, so I don't poke holes through their heads, even though he does have a hat on, but I still don't want to poke a hole in his head. And then I've got this little kind of gauge looking thing that's Tim Holtz. And this is better, guys, if you use things that are cardstock or, you know, a heavier stock, because you don't want your little dangly pieces to be just regular paper, because they're not gonna hold up well. And then I have this little paper label that I'm going to put for a writing space, because this paper has a lot of writing space on the back of the tag. So I'm not allowing as much on this one. And I'm going to put it right down at the bottom. Down here. It is a sticker. And I'm going to put it right about there. And then I have a couple of Amy's from Crack the Cat. These are her gears that she cuts out on her glue forge. And I'm going to put those on there. They match this paper really, really well. And put them over in this corner, I think. And then, do I want to use this? This is a compass, and I thought about using it, but I don't think I need it. Alright, so let's put the gears down. Oh, that's what I had. I had this little accelerator, Tim Holtz accelerator thing. Do I want to put that on there? No, I do not. I do not, but I may want to put I do think I want to put that little black label right there. Cut the corners. And ink that. Oops. Now dropped the piece of paper I was using to glue on. Alright. Get this up here where you can see. And I'm just gonna put that there. And then oops. I'm just making a mess, aren't I? And I actually wanted this under there. Where's my wipey rag? There we go. Okay. Then this one. There. Okay, and then let's glue these guys onto here. All right, so what else? Do I need this up here? No. Do I want the accelerator thing up there? I don't know if I want to. No, I like the gauge better, I think. Yep. Okay, so let's poke a hole in all those. We'll put this one in the spare tire here. on the back. Let me put my pen in my glue before I regret it, and put my lid on my ink before I regret that, because first thing I'll do is I'll lay a piece of paper in there and ruin something. Get our ball pen. And poke our hole in the top. And do our reinforcer. So you could, if you get everything out and lay these out, you could put them together pretty quick. But it does take a while, or it did me, to decide what all I was going to put together to make them. So, oh, I did have one more thing. What did I do with it? I had a little key to put on there. Which I don't even know if the cars back then had keys. That, at that age, I think they had, I don't think they had the cranks. I think that's past the cranks. But I don't know how they started. I should have looked when they actually had some, I don't know if you all have ever been to, or you know of, the show Antique Archaeology. But they have a store in Nashville, and I have been there. It's very cool. But they have done a lot of work on a building that used to be a car manufacturer, and they have a lot of old cars in there. This is Amy at Crack the Cats as well, that she cuts. You can order these. They have black ones, and then they have the rust, like the gears. And I think I want to put this on the front, even though it's going to hang kind of in their faces. But if I don't put it in the front, you won't be able to see it at all. Okay. That one's real cute too. I feel like I need to stamp. I need to leave this, but I feel like I need to stamp something right there, or put another little label or something. So, what can we stamp? Let me grab something. Telephone number. let's do that. And I am going to do it in black on this one because I have the black labels and everything on there. All right. So there we go. Pretty quickly. If I could keep all my stuff together, it'd have been even quicker. Do I want this 3 on here? This 3 was just laying there staring at me. We've already got 1 3 on there. No, we don't. We want to leave it. Okay. So let's bring back all 3. So you can see them all together. So this was our one that is probably the closest to the pin here with the flowers and all that in the mason jar. And then we have this one with the car and the ladies. And then we have this one with the gentleman and the car. And I may have to do one with the house as well once I get off camera because I really like them. I think they're cool. And you could put, if you wanted, you know, a piece of fabric or something up here to also include at the top for another little piece, you could do that. I don't think it's needed, but you know, you could easily do that and it looked fine. But I think I like just the ball pin. Yep. So let me know what you guys think. And again, I do appreciate everybody watching. And I will see you guys back probably Tuesday. Not until Tuesday unless I am working on something that I feel like is really exciting that you guys will be interested in. Usually on the weekends what I do is just actually I'll have a video on tomorrow, which is the 50 stack challenge 4. I have already filmed that one, so it'll be coming out tomorrow, but other than that it'll probably be next Tuesday for the Nothing But Neutrals. So until then, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys back on Friday, technically, but really, it'll be Tuesday, if that makes any sense. Until then, bye.